What is up, guys? It's your boy No Risk, No a Premium, back with another episode of the market overview, guys. Today the market has continued to sell, but right to where? Right to our old balance zone. You can see our daily close basically perfectly right at that level, 425.80, 425.88, call it 426. You can see we're holding. I wanted to start by zooming out here and seeing, look, it has been a big drop, right? It's been a big drop off of the move after the FOMC, but we're getting down to some areas where we could definitely put in a balance. Now, I'm nobody in here to try to call a market bottom. Matter of fact, you'll probably be worse off the more you try to call a market bottom, right? Just play what is in front of you. Just want to zoom out and look. Look, we have this balance zone in here that we had from a while ago. We skirted right through that level this morning, right at the top of it, where we thought possibly we could see a balance zone. But then we came down, and now we have two levels of interest, I think. I think we've got this little gap to be filled here, 423 to 424. Okay, 423 to 424. Now that's just underneath this old balance range that we were in, right? This balance zone. So is this a good place where we could possibly see if there's a little bit of a bounce in this zone? I would think so. Now, I'm not just gonna buy calls at that level tomorrow with my eyes closed. No, right? We're gonna see how this plays out. We're gonna see, do we possibly maybe even get a double bottom tomorrow? I don't know. But if we continue on down, I think there's less room to short into a gap fill bounce, right? Than I would like. So I'll be initially watching the bounce zone in here. And then if worst case we're getting down, we got the 200 MA is this kind of cyan blue colored dotted line here. You could see, right? All stocks are usually like a magnet to their 200 MA, and they usually respect it, at least on the first bounce. So we could watch that zone in there, right, as well. Okay, but as for me for tomorrow, we're going to be watching. We're getting a little oversold here. If you actually look at some of these, the RSI, you could see we have a little bit of divergence here. Anytime we get pretty oversold, though, every time we seem to have bounced, right? Anytime we go a little blue, we seem to bounce up, right? Over here, we seem to have bounced up. You could see it over here. So is that the case, right? Little blue here. It's a little oversold, bounce up. Got some blue going on here. Lots of blue going on here. Is that can bounce? Yeah. Does that not mean that we can't go lower tomorrow? No, we could absolutely go lower tomorrow. If there's more sellers than buyers, we can go lower. But I am spotting a little bit of RSI divergence. We're getting to some spots where I think we'd see some buyers, where I think we could see some buyers step in, right? It was 426 being the first one, but 424, 423, that's the second one. That's the one I like the most. If we just go and simply look on a 1-hour chart here, you can see where we put a very nice, you can see this divergence a little bit better, right? We're making lower lows, but RSI isn't making lower lows, right? So to me, it's saying, short with caution down here. Short with caution. You're getting, this strength, relative strength index isn't as strong, right? It's not as strong down here, okay? But that's telling me possibly, look, we have a very nice little hammer candle that got built right at the close here. So that's what we're going to watch for tomorrow. We're going to watch dips maybe a little bit lower into this gap fill. Okay, I'm going to look for the bounces in here. But realistically, we've got to get back through 428, and then 428 still going to have to take us back to 429, which was pretty much that breakdown zone, 431 above there. So bulls have a ton of work to do. So my main focus for tomorrow is, let's see, do we possibly see a move right into a double bottom type of formation, or just holding our 426, or today's low about 425.26? Okay, if not, I'm not really interested in getting too short, as I do think we're oversold here. And I don't think the R&R is there for that gap fill bounce, right? I mean, you can. I don't like shorting the lows, though. I would rather see if we could take a long here. Now, that doesn't mean we can't look at 428, where it's very positive. Maybe in the morning, right? Maybe in the morning we gap up into a resistance here, which is that 428 zone, and we look to reject that area, even up to 429 to 431, all rejectable because it has been short the pops, right? Short the pops. So you really need that break of structure, right? Or a huge demand or supply, or a huge demand or support zone to come in and help you out, right? To come in and help you out. We got down here today. So my focus tomorrow is look to see if we have any opportunities to take a bounce. If not, you can play the rejects, 428, 429 on this breakdown zone here. 431 is going to be above there. Through 431, though, I think we could easily come up and see this 434, 436. I think that would make the higher high, right? Through 431. Make a higher high, and that would have a break of structure there. That would take us up to 434. 436 is the gap fill up to 438 from there. Spy chart. That's spy chart. Oh, I think I was supposed to start with the ES chart. Did I screw that up? That's supposed to start with the ES chart. Anyway, well, I think I'm actually I'm all discombobulated. We don't really have anything going on tomorrow. Okay, nothing going on tomorrow, as you can see. You go to the economic calendar on here on Market Watch and see it as well. Just durable goods. That's all pre-market. And nothing else tomorrow though, guys. Or Thursday though, guys. We've got jobless claims and GDP. Don't forget, and then we have a meet and greet at the town hall. It seems like for good old Fed Chair Powell, but that's after the market close. That's on Thursday at the market close. Right. So nothing to worry about tomorrow. As far as tomorrow, really nothing. That's why I skimmed over that. Let's zoom out here on this daily on the ES chart, though. As you can see, lots of levels. Bear with me, but that's a lot of data to aggregate. We did fill where? We filled, right, the gap fill. So we could take this off. We've got the gap fill. Okay, we've got the gap fill. And now, we went and bounced where, right? 43.05. Now, you remember the ES chart? Remember the SPY chart? Remember ES had this consolidation, so did the SPY chart. Well, SPY went through this same level or time period, went through to the bottom side. ES is bouncing off the top side, 43.05. So interesting to note there, right? Now, it could be from the contract roll, who knows? But interesting to note that we did get that bounce at 43.05. So tomorrow, 43.05 is going to be a big level. Right, gonna be a big level for us here. If not, we've got to get back through 43.25, which was that little bit of the rejections from this afternoon. We can zoom this in a little here. Right, 43.25. We could see we went up and rejected them this afternoon. Above there, if we get through 43.35, it's going to open up 43.40. 43.67 from there. You can see bulls have a ton of work to do. Bulls have a ton of work to do. If we just zoom out here for a sec, we can come back over and see. I think I'll go to a higher time frame for you guys. Make it a little easier. There we go. We could see right bouncing off this zone here. We can go a little bit lower. Right, we can go a little bit lower, maybe into 4,300 exactly tomorrow. So watch for a possible dip and then possible bounce out. If not, 42.65 is going to be way lower. Way lower. That's a level you're going to have to watch for tomorrow. Okay, underneath 4,300, I think 4,300 is going to guarantee us a move down to 43.65. So watch for a bounce all the way under there. If we break 43.05, 43.05 takes down to 42.65 from there. Now, if we can reclaim, I like to look at this 1 hour. It looks a little cleaner. Right, nice hammer candle there on this 1 hour, right, with some volume. Okay, is that a reversal? I don't know. We're going to watch 43.05 tomorrow. Need to get back above 43. I mean, really, guys, I would play this 43.35. Over 43.35 is going to get us scooting back up to about 43.67. You can watch for this breakdown zone here at 43.50, but I think above 43.35, 43.50, 43.67. And if we could get above 43.67, we can mark a local bottom for a little bit, because that would be a definite change of structure, right? But that's a long way up there. It's a long way up, right, at 43.65. So 43.66. So that's a lot of work that bulls have to do. But tomorrow, I think the focus level for tomorrow is going to be trading all around this 43.05. Definitely a shortable space underneath, right, all the way down here to about 42.65. I'd look for the bounce in that zone, but we've got to take out 43.05 to the ups, 43.35 to the upside, to see 43.50, 43.67 from there. QQQ. Oh, Fibby on it from earlier, from when we were trading it. Okay, let's zoom out here to the daily chart. As we can see, that's way too zoomed out. That's way too zoomed out. Let's get. As we can see, we dipped underneath this big 354 level, right? Underneath this 354, we dipped underneath it. And then now we're trying to get back above it here, right? But we can see this old area of balance zone, and then we dip below. Let's take this yesterday low of the day, because that was from we were trading off of it today. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour chart here. We can see another little hammer candle there, right? Another little hammer candle. We could see some RSI divergence here on this 1 hour, and we've got this hammer with some volume. Okay, we got the hammer with some volume. So what does that mean for tomorrow? I mean, really, realistically, 354 just has to hold. I mean, if we can get as low as 353, 22. But I think if we're going to see a relief bounce tomorrow, it's going to be 354. It's got to hold, or we've got to get through this 356. 356, call it, going to open up the 357.50, and then if we can get at or to or above 360, that could mark a local bottom, right? And we could take this thing up to 362. Now, underneath today's low, I think there's a lot of room to fall. Still think there's a lot of down. Even though we're oversold, I still believe we can see some downside. So let's look at some levels here. If we do get underneath, okay, underneath 353, I think we could take this thing back down to about 348, 49, this zone in here, ultimately down to 346 from there. But watch 348. Okay, or 349. I guess call it 349. Watch 349 underneath 353. If we break through 353, watch that zone in there. If not, we can watch today's low of the day all the way up to 354. I'd want that level to hold. If you're looking at the 1 hour chart, I'd want this area to hold in here if we're going to see any sort of relief bounce. But if not, underneath 353, we can ride this thing down to 349 and 346. Below there, a back above 357 is a start. If we can take out 360, that would mark a local bottom. Like I said, try this 362 gap, takes us up to 364.65 IWM. Last but not least, it is a weakling. What would you expect if market has relative if market has relative weakness in it? Okay, and the 2000 top small cap shares likely get sold off the most, right? With just overall relative weakness. But as we can see, still have this old balance zone in here, but we're going to watch 372.50, 372.50. You can see these wicks down here, 372.50. You'll want to watch for bounces into the zone, the complete bottom of the zone. If we really want to, about 370 even, but 372.50, that's going to be our watch for tomorrow. I like this zone for a bounce down in this area. If we do get an oversold dead cat bounce or just bounce or what have you, right, we're going to have to get back above 176. Okay, going to have to get back above 176. Realistically, want to take out this day's high at 177 here. Okay, want to take out 177. If that goes, then 177.50 could really open this thing back up to about 178 in that gap fill. But first things first, got to get back above 176, and then 177 would be a big reach. But for me, I think down here at about 172.50, I'll be watching for the bounces down in this zone down here, because if you zoom out and you look left, you could easily see we have some very nice wicks into this zone in here, right? That's gonna be about the 172.50 area. So I'll be looking for bounces down in that zone. Guys, very long-winded, but tomorrow, big nothing burger on the data, just some pre-market stuff. Thursdays, the stuff you got to worry about, jobless claims, GDP, and good old Fed Chair Powell at the close. Friday, a plethora of data. So if you thought the volatility was over for this week, you might be wrong, right? You might be wrong. Guys, that's all I got for you. Got to wake up early, get your levels right, and of course, not do anything fucking stupid. We'll see you bright and early. Peace.